Oh, hi, everybody. My hood is not... Oh, there it went. As soon as I talked about it, it snapped into place. Welcome to the Omniverse Chronicles, the final broadcast of Crossroads Carnival. Hopefully, you're all caught up because, boy, it all ends here, good or ill. I think I'll just hand it over to Joe.
Yeah, this is not going to make sense without anything before then.
With no context.
Hello there, the orb says to you all in unison, at least one of its eyes pointedly making eye contact with you. Please, come here. Come with me.
Yeah. I go.
Yeah.
All right. As you approach, each of you find yourself in an empty automat. You are alone with a tall figure clad in clothing that does not seem to fit any era you know. It walks beside you. Thalassa, you're able to swim as if the air was water. It walks beside you, hands behind its back. It walks ahead elegantly, confidently, and sits down at a booth next to a window. It gestures for you to sit down.
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Garbanzo, in your section of reality, it says to you, the flame, it could be yours. You would be able to give that girl of yours the whole world. Everything you or she could ever need, it is within the grasp of that fist. You could create a world where your strength and your power are unnecessary, a world without war.
And what would I have to do to get that?
You need to take the flame.
Interesting. That would mean I'd be taking it from somebody that already has it, doesn't it?
Correct.
Right? Or is it something I'll think about?
Thalassa, in your section of reality, you have control of the living and over the dead. With your voice heard across the globe, you could be a new god. You could have the adoration of all over and under the sea. The ghost light, as you call it, would make your presence known throughout all of creation.
What does this mean if I take this light? I get this power, but what happens to the world?
What do you want to happen? It would be yours to make what you wish.
But there would be this imbalance still, correct?
What is there to be imbalance? You would control both sides.
Interesting.
Tiresias, in your section of reality, you have given yourself and everything of you to this carnival, to these fights. And what do you have to show for these sacrifices?
I get the impression that you are something much older than I am. It surprises me greatly that in that time you have not learned that it's not always about what you get, but about what you've given.
And with what you have given, what you have learned, you have the wisdom and experience of 100 kings. You would never have to watch the follies of those in power fail repeatedly. You could create the perfect empire, couldn't you?
I believe every single person I have served and every person I have watched from a distance who has let their empire topple, all of their machinations began with that sentence. The thing I have discovered, the thing that you could tempt me with, is the thing you will not give me. To simply leave them to their own decisions. I have seen too many interfere, and I have interfered too often myself. Perhaps now included. The irony is not lost on me. But I believe it is still one's place to interfere when the prize to be won is free will going forward.
The mortals could have their free will. And you could let them play in a sandbox. Like the children they are.
And what would you get from this?
The satisfaction of knowing that we have done all that we could.
I believe you'll have to expand on that a little more.
All you've got to do is take the ghost light, as you call it, and then I will leave you.
Listening to this thing talk
Mm-hmm.
and hearing what it wants and having heard stories like this before, I want to try to get a sense of its actual
Okay.
desires.
All right. I want to say it's keep an eye out for trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Guile. Oh no, Guile's my good one. 11. What dark truth is hidden here?
There is no good way out of this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That yeah, there is no good way out of this. It wants to continue to exist.
I think thinking about the people who are here, who I know came downstairs,
Mhm.
who here is stained by the darkness?
Everyone.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is no, I guess like, what I'm kind of, there is no untainted person in the group that has come.
There is
NPCs or
no
PCs alike.
you have never sensed the stain of darkness on Bobble.
Okay. I find it interesting that we're having this conversation as a one-on-one and not a round table. It makes me wonder what you're offering the others.
I'm sure you will find out soon enough. This is but a temporary location.
Hmm.
Mal, in your section of reality, you have the whole of the carnival at your will. You have the flame of creation stolen from the gods. The light from which, if it were to go out, humanity would perish. With that power, you could make you could make all of your dreams come true.
I'm sure that's true. But as long as I've had this, I keep thinking that this is too much power, not just for me, for anyone. It's not that I think that I shouldn't have it. I don't think anyone should.
Then who should guard the light of creation, if not you?
I don't know. I mean, guarding it is one thing. I don't know if it should be used, and I know that is an interesting thing to say, considering This flame is the only reason why I got here. It might be the only reason why I'm still alive right now. But I still don't think... I think it's too much for any of us to hold on to permanently.
Then it is yours to give.
What happens to me if I give it up?
I do not know.
I feel like that's the first honest thing that you've told me so far. Do you want some?
No, thank you.
Okay.
It gets up from all of your tables, walks over to the automat, one of the windows, drops in a couple of coins, and takes out 2 slices of apple pie. Walks back to the tables, sets it down. As you look at the pie and look back up, you were able to see everyone else at a booth, each looking out the window at a wide desert stretch. A fork is placed by a copy of this being before each of you. And in unison, it takes a fork and takes a bite of the apple pie. You are muted.
You're muted, my love.
I sure am. I can't imagine that I am looking at the pie so much as like over my shoulder at the others. What do we make of this?
I take it none of you accepted.
Not yet.
Well, yes, I believe we may not be here if so, but this is odd.
Is it just the 4 of us? Do I see Bobble and Curio?
You do.
What do you think, old man? I'm getting lots of promises on ending war and all of that stuff that I've seen what this can do, and I can't help but believe it.
I think we are at a crossroads. This is a place of power. The reason that when you look around, you do not simply see one of our negotiator. You see many. The decision made here will shape the future. And every possible direction is so strong, so different. It will require its own timeline.
It looks at everyone and says, "Would you like to see what happens if you choose nothing?"
This is your show, sir. Go ahead.
They all look out the window, and you see the sun move across the sky faster and faster. Moon phases, shrinking and growing. And it stops. And you see several military jeeps outside. It is dark. There is one scientist, from what you can tell, that is simply looking from the wind through the windshield of the Jeep. You see far off into the distance a metallic tower, and a countdown is broadcast through everywhere. 3, 2, 1. An eerie silence falls. And you see all of the air. You see the mushroom cloud rise. You see the burst of light. And then the Jeep, dirt, everything comes shooting through the windows, passing through you. You see another second mushroom cloud explosion, and darkness seeps through as a chain reaction that has gone unbound begins to eat away at the earth, taking everything out. Soon there is only the skeletal diner left, and you are floating in darkness. It looks at each of you. The scientists that did not survive the plagues were not able to create a functional detonation. And in the test that happens 10 years henceforth, it will destroy everything. They reach up their hands and snap, and everything returns. None of us want that, I assume. And it leans back into the table and takes another bite of apple pie.
I wish I could say that it was exaggerating. But that is the same image I saw weeks ago of what would be the end.
You saw this.
Something similar. There was not a second explosion, but many deaths have occurred since then. But yes, the cloud, the explosion.
Did you
It is
see?
what spells the end.
Did you see a way to stop it?
Remember when I told you all that we had to simply slow things down so that they could save themselves? I believe that is the thing they have to save themselves from. They have to be able to get back to work on pushing forward and not trying to repair what was broken these last few months.
So what is this then? And I'm looking at it, I'm looking back at them. Like, why offer it to all of us? Why not force it on one of us? What's the end game here? You're trying to fucking turn us on each other? What the fuck are we doing here? just one of us needs to keep it. Let the fucking girl keep it. She fancies it. She's doing all right. Let the old man take it. He's got all the wisdom of the fucking ages. Like, what are we talking about? If one of us has to fucking keep it, then let's just walk out of here.
Not just keep it. Use it.
So we don't put it away like we planned.
Does that change the balance? We've discussed needing to balance things out, but if Mallory is utilizing one of these items and either she or somebody else utilizes the other, but not against each other, but alongside one another, does that change anything?
I think at that question, Tiresias kind of sits back in the chair and turns in the direction of the figure who has joined us.
Balance can be created, and balance can be set in several ways. It is the choices made by you all being a microcosm that something, somewhere, has decided to use as a test ground.
So what are you in this?
I am a shard of the divine, almost an angel. I have seen what heaven can be. I've seen what heaven is. I've seen what the war brought, which the power that you were all given and the power to take yourselves out has been figured out. I helped steal the flame that is on your wrist.
What about the Angelus?
This thing fucking is it, isn't it? Is that what
I
you're
am
saying?
the Angelus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I jerk my head at Curio. So what is it that you offered to him? I like scoot
Curio.
around in my booth and look at Curio. You've been really fucking quiet.
I am still dealing with how to feel now. During the battle with you, I was suddenly drained of all the fire in my soul. He squints hard at the back of Tiresias's head. I was promised purpose.
What of you, Bobble?
She has been looking out the window, not like almost without blinking the entire time. He said I could create it all. But I don't want to.
Fuck. Then it's gotta be you. I'd bet every dime I've ever made that there's 2 people in this room that don't want that fucking thing. You're one of them. The old man's one of them. I bet all of us together couldn't put it in his hand. The one that should have it is the one that doesn't fucking want it. Because I do. I want it fucking bad.
I think I'm looking at
Garbanzo.
Garbanzo a little warily.
I think Garbanzo is right, Bobble. Not wanting to have it. I'm not sure the picture that it painted for you. But I see a slightly different future for you. If you were to take it to be the guard of this force of creation, you don't want to use it. But not all of those with the power of creation do the creating. Sometimes they do the inspiring. You could feed little bits of it as you feel they are needed throughout history to those who seem worthy of some new creation, some new advancement. I've seen the things you build, how they advance. But it's always for the good of those around you, never for personal gain or glory, even.
You see tears starting to run down her cheeks. It's too much.
Perhaps if you were to use it all at once, yes, but as Tiresias says, if you use it sparingly and not in any significantly drastic manner, I mean, I will admit it does sound very tempting to have. I understand and respect power more than most things, though I do prefer to gain power as opposed to forcing it. I don't believe I would take this item, though if I did, I don't think that I would have any idea how to use it for the benefit of others. But I've done nothing but see you create that very thing.
But your crown, you've used it to help.
To help myself, yes.
He turns back, looking out the window. would you all stay with me? You each have such wisdom to share with me. I just built stuff.
Yeah, I
Will
mean,
not-
I don't know how much use I'd be without this. And Garbanzo, did you find it?
Yeah.
I don't know how useful I would be if I'm just me. I would love to be just me, but
Don't sell yourself short. I've seen you tear 3 people apart with only one hand without changing anything about you. And it's your perspective that's being asked for here. You know?
yeah.
That you have.
Assuming I live if I give this up. But being afraid of that, doesn't seem important enough to keep it on my wrist if someone else should have it.
I don't think it was the thing keeping you alive. I think it was something that happened when it needed to. Nothing more than that.
Mallory, if you woke up tomorrow free of the curse, what you see is a curse running through your blood, a flame gone, what would you do?
I don't know. But it feels nice not to know. It feels like possibility.
I certainly would stay with you, Bobble. My life has been lived more times than I can count. I can't say for the other 3. Seems they have much of a life to live yet. Things to experience outside of the circus. No one should feel bound here. They should be able to go out and experience this hopefully beautiful new world that you, with the guidance of those who stay around, usher in.
At this long pause, Kirio looks at the other tables in front of him. Like, you were keeping the flame alive, it wasn't keeping you alive.
What?
Yeah. It needs a host.
Gotcha.
It is then.
Okay, then. I don't even know how to give it to someone.
The entity, the Angelus, holds out a hand.
I want to look around at the rest of our group.
All of the Angeli are doing the same thing.
We're all sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Bobble nods. Curio, I think at this point, is just irritated and nods.
Okay, then. And I offer my left hand.
It holds your hand, and you see the flame subside into a ball of flame that now exists in front of all of you. Time slows just a little bit. And you can see Curio kind of twitching as the Angelus is holding the flame out and before him.
I think that I would like to lash out with unsettling violence.
Go for it.
8. So choose 2. I think I'm going to mark darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I take it further than I intend. And what I'm intending is that just, sitting there with the plate and the pie in front of him, I just whip the plate at Curio's arm as we're, in this weird circle, trying to knock his hand away. And I think that, like, it goes further than intended because I see this vision of, like, as it's traveling through this kind of weird time space, that it breaks up of itself. And so just shards of it go into the hand instead of, like, the plate hitting it and knocking it away.
He is struck by a rain of shattered plates, an infinite number of plates. And there are shards just sticking out of him. And he drops his hand down. The flesh is not bleeding. It is no longer human. And he puts his hand down.
It's a waste of good pie.
And Bobble reaches out and takes it. And she just stares at it. This is a new feeling for 3 of you. As multiple timelines collapse into that singular waveform. Tiresias, this is a familiar feeling of things going right. Outside the window, you see the sun go backwards and continue backwards. And back further than what you remember being here. And Baba looks into the flame, trying to set things right. And you find yourself in the diner in New Jerusalem. Everyone's sitting where you were, an empty seat in front of you.
Looking at my left arm, or where my left arm should be, what is there, if anything?
Your left hand. You're on mute.
And again, I keep clearing my throat and I keep muting myself to not make you hear that. I'm just taking stock. Like same thing, you know, I don't know how it felt in this weird other planar kind of existence, but like I'm checking to see what state my leg's in and to see if I have the root and like just yeah, like it has anything changed since kind of popping back.
You've got the root.
Okay.
Your leg is very achy.
Fair. Okay.
So my arm isn't broken either?
Nope.
Okay.
It is achy, though.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a hell of a first try at using that bubble.
It's more knowing how everything fits together.
Yeah, well, I don't know anyone better at seeing things like that than you.
How do you feel? Any different?
A little bit. She gets up. She walks past the four of you and slugs her brother.
Oh,
Oh.
good for her.
Do we all get a turn?
I don't see why not. And she continues out the door.
I think I do walk over to Curio. So, I don't really know how all of this works, or what exactly you went through. I know Envy was out there somewhere. We didn't exactly deal with that, so were you being manipulated by them? Did you make a deal with them, or do you think we don't have to worry about it anymore?
You see the panels in his chest pop out and open. And inside, where his heart should be, is a green emerald in the shape of an eye. The color drained from it. So it's a very gray green. He sets it on the table. The panels close.
So,
It was the shortcut.
And now it's a paperweight.
Well, I suspect it is until the next person with a lot of envy picks it up, and they'll work together, and it'll be their shortcut.
All right, Jerry. Probably a good idea to leave that hidden somewhere here, right?
The waitress looks at you and says, "Of course. There's no better place for it to be."
Any other
And
thoughts?
it drops into the table.
Oh,
Oh my.
I
For
would have
me.
liked that for my new shelf, but I suppose this is safer.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Wonderful new addition to the museum.
Our thoughts exactly.
Fuck, I don't like you.
Why not? We're great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. There it is. Ugh.
Well, now that that's all settled, who's going to stay?
I make a move like I cannot get out of this little diner fast enough, but then I realize that the rest of them are here, so I turn back, like kind of waiting.
Garbanzo has the route, so wherever he's going, I'm going. At least
Mhm.
for a little bit.
I can't exactly think of a reason not to stay, honestly. If we get this broadcast tower fixed, that could be very beneficial to me. I can see that you seem to want to leave very much, though.
This is not a place for me.
Well, then I suppose it's not a place for me either, then.
Really.
These televisions, they are becoming more frequent outside of this place, correct?
Little by little.
Well, then I can't imagine this is the only tower. I would love to be able to put my face into everyone's home. But I would prefer to be by your side.
All right. Then let's go out there and see if we can start putting that idea in everyone's heads.
Wonderful.
I think watching them together and happy kind of sets Mallory back a little bit. I hang in the doorway and just kind of watch the two of them. Tiresias, what about you?
The carnival was the last place of refuge for someone like myself. I will stay with Bobble wherever they decide to go. The nice thing about being around power like that I no longer feel the pull of it. It's too much fucking trouble.
I want to look at the waitress. Y'all said that you wanted the best, the brightest, the most powerful people to live here, right?
Absolutely.
Well, in an hour or two, I'm probably not going to be either of those things, so...
You might be surprised. She goes back to wiping the counter.
I walk out.
Okay.
And before walking out, I'm going to go over and offer a hand to Curio. I'm not sure what your plans are. But if the power that your sister now has is everything we believe it is, well, we've got nothing but time to set things right between the two of you.
He takes in a deep breath. Lets it out very slowly. And you feel his hand take yours in a firm but genteel handshake. I think I've got some time.
Good. And I will turn and go out.
All right. A dapper man in a gray suit and matching hat, very shiny shoes, walks up to you, Thalassa, and offers you a card.
Oh, well, thank you. I take it.
Steve Banner, advertising. I think we could help each other. And he tips his hat and continues walking forward.
Yes, I believe we can. I hand it to Garbanzo. Will you please put this somewhere I won't get wet?
Absolutely.
Thank
I
you.
stick it down behind the feather in my hat to make sure it's safe. All right. Hey, Mal.
Yeah?
Got a little something for you. You sure you want it?
Are you gonna hit me?
I don't think there's anything fucking wrong with you, but you know what?
What?
It's not for me to decide. Crossed my fucking leg to get this thing, so one way or another, I'm gonna steep it into a fucking tea, or I'm gonna let you do what you're gonna do. As long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters, right? And I need somebody to fucking argue with.
Thank you. And completely uncharacteristically, I throw my arms around his neck.
Jesus, boat-making Christ, what's this?
Sorry, no, sorry. I stepped down. Sorry, just... Thank you. You didn't have to... After everything that you and I have...
No. I didn't have to, you didn't have to, she didn't have to. None of us had to fucking do anything. We're, you know, we're friends.
I'd like us to be.
All right. Stop getting my tank top wet.
Sorry.
Got enough splash from this one.
Right. Sorry. And I will take the route. Thank you.
Welcome.
And I go find Bobble.
Bobble is out front, outside of the town, picking up pieces of the broken carnivals and putting things back together.
I did a real number on this place, didn't I?
You did what you had to do.
Yeah. But you're gonna do what should be done.
I hope so.
I know so. One quick thing, if you're not too busy, setting the entire universe in order, I was wondering if you could help me, with that recipe that I showed you.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Okay.
You walk back to her truck. She pulls open the bed of the truck, and inside of it you see a bunch of various mechanisms and gear. And she takes out a knife and starts very carefully shaving off the root, boiling it down, adding it to the other ingredients. It smells like iron and earth and moss and mushrooms. It smells like the morning after a rain, a bit of petrichor, and it is a tea that she hands you. You sure you want this?
You know, I thought that I've imagined this conversation dozens of ways. And I thought maybe there would be a chance that I would say no. That I like the way that I am. But that's the thing. I like who I am. But every time it happens to me, I lose less of that. I'm less of what I am. So yeah. I'm sure.
Bottoms up then.
And I drink it.
You feel tingly all over. And slowly your muscles sort of atrophy, like things aren't where they should be. You feel your jaw tighten and your teeth grind. Meanwhile, Tiresias, what you doing?
I think I am taking a walk through the town and just getting a sense of this place, the layout, the smell, the feel, before eventually going back to Bobble to figure out if this is where she'd like to stay or if she plans on traveling in some new fashion.
You notice that the crossroads have the beepies. So it's you as you're wandering through, things are right where you think they should be. You feel safe. At least accommodated. Like what you do isn't an afterthought or how you do it. It smells like fresh cut grass, of caramel corn, of dirt and trees and flowers. You can smell many different roses. And as you start contemplating, I wonder what Bobble is doing. You find yourself at the edge of the town. And you hear the Rousties putting together the carnival, trying to fish parts out of the water and fish parts out of the water, as in the gunk left. That does not smell great.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And you get the sense that Bobble is helping everybody put everything back together. You smell Mallory minus Wet Dog.
So, going to take your chance out in the world.
Yeah. Maybe. And I want to take his hand and just have him touch my face, my ears.
It's good to hear. Life, as cliche as it may be, life is for living. And finding yourself weighed down with responsibility for the comforts of others, save that for later years.
Yeah. I was worried that I would miss it. And I don't. I was so afraid of it. And I feel such a weight lifted. Knowing that I'm not going to lose control or hurt anybody. What?
Where do you think you'll go first?
Well, I should probably go see my family. But after that, I have always wanted to see the ocean.
Mm. I feel I know a couple of folks who could lead you there in a spectacular fashion. But don't forget, when you go home to see your family and you've seen the ocean, although we may travel, who knows by what means Bauble may have in mind, you always have the option to come visit your true family.
There'll still be a place here for me, even though I'm not special.
That's simply a matter of perspective.
I think I have come up behind and pick her up from like behind over my shoulder. Fuck yeah, there is. I have a really cool idea about some new showmanship little acts with a cannon.
Oh, do you?
Oh yeah, got some ideas. Could use a little help with it.
I might be a little less sturdy than I used to be, but sure.
All right. And I'll set her down and turn back and push the lasso over in a freshly filled tank. All right.
Yes.
Where is next then? Go on.
I approve of your new look, Mallory. I think the old one was lovely, but this one is too.
Thank you.
Yes, where do we go from here?
That's up to management. And I'll start looking around for Bauble.
Bauble is just helping put things back together. Oh, I'm not management. That was still bequeathed.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
Are you?
Do you want the job, Bauble?
I mean, I have to fix everything and fix everything? Why don't we consider this a temporary leave of absence for you and you can come back?
Sure.
Okay. Because somebody's got to do something with lust, too.
Right. What are we gonna do with lust?
I'm sure we'll figure something out.
From off in the distance, you hear, bow chicka bow wow! And we will skip just a couple of minutes. She goes, I built a train.
You are incredible.
Oh, we got twice the carnival now.
That's true.
Because I am not going to leave my brother with this crap. Somebody's got to do something with clown eggs.
Nah, I don't have to.
So now that you two possibly are going to work together, seems like you need some sort of a new name for the circus.
Got any ideas?
What's your last name?
Don't have one.
Hmm. Well, I suppose that'll be a work in progress. I didn't set this up with a pithy thought in mind. It was simply a matter of curiosity. I know it's unusual for me, but
There it is then. Something like the living baubles and curios.
Baubles Curiosities? It seems doable.
That's not bad.
Yes, you are definitely the correct person for this job.
And she goes back to putting stuff on the train.
Is that a train without a track?
Don't worry about it. I got this figured out.
Fucking amazing.
where we're going, we don't need tracks.
Mel, you still have the letters from your family. You've got stuff to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
There is things for you to do. You know in your heart that this is home. And yeah, I think that's a good place to end.
Excellent. Well, let me ask you, just as a curious player,
Mm-hmm.
if you were all to because I'm a fucking sucker for these.
Sure.
If you were to paint yourself a picture of like just a snapshot of 3 months from now, like what is it? Do we see all of you like at the ocean together? Like what do you imagine that you're all doing?
Yeah, I like to think that at least at some point, I don't know, stop me if this is too much, but that Mal takes off and like 2 days after into her visiting her family, we all show up and set up like a circus for their little town and like in their yard for them and do this big performance. And whatever happens there, great. But then fast forward, and we get a little bit of that beach day kind of stuff with Thalassa in this lagoon, showing everybody like this is how the ocean really works. Ultimately, for me, though, I think that at some point down the road, Bobble's just obvious extreme ability to make these things now, and with this power, is how much everything has expanded. And we see all these like mixed events of this water tank with Thalassa out in the open, and it's much bigger, and it's literally her splashing up out of the water to trigger a cannon that fires, and I'm catching the cannonballs that fire out of them, while it just working everybody's kind of stuff into this all together with this amazing kind of almost steampunk technology, so
Like
that
a
we're
Rube
more of a
Goldberg machine.
yes, like it's this actual kind of moving pieces circus instead of just the tents down for people to come see.
That's legit.
I like it.
I don't quite remember that I'm not supposed to be back in the ocean, so I would definitely
Definitely risk it.
definitely not. I'd be like, yeah, cool, we're back in the ocean. Check this out.
You're like 6 months from now, we jump ahead and we see Thalassa on trial under the sea.
Well, Thalassa did defeat the Kraken.
That's
Oh,
true.
that's true.
You did.
And with the shard of the Kraken's beak, she might be welcomed, or at least not partially exonerated.
There you go.
I just start getting chased, and I just turn back around and get back out of the ocean. I'm just like, never mind, put me back in the tank.
But yeah, I think I travel a little bit. I like find myself, Mallory has so rarely gotten to know just her, if she's been this way since she was a teenager. But then I think I meet back up with the circus. I think I probably am still management, even though I don't have any powers. I think maybe it might be better that way.
Yeah, I think that Tiresias, after this point, the only time that he uses his powers anymore, and it's never at request, but it's at moments where Bobble is really caught for, should I intervene here? Should I give this spark of inspiration to this person, to who? And I think the readings are, what would a person do with this? What kind of things would they create? That now that there has been finally, after thousands of years, a moment of redemption, and kind of making up for those past mistakes. And I honestly don't know. I don't know if that's turned sad, but I don't know how much longer he lives after this. I think he stops using his powers, and the less frequently he uses them, the more he starts to fade away, until the point where he just isn't there one day.
That is so sad and perfect.
Yeah. Ooh. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Thank you all. This was wonderful.
Yeah. So Kim, what have we got?
I think I've been in tears this entire episode. Thank you all of you for joining us for the finale of Crossroads Carnival. This show has been so special. Thank you. Thank you to Scatchel for the follow. Thank you to Thomas and Josh and Jax for the gift subs. Thank you, Jax, for the resub. Congratulations on 14 months. And thank you to Thomas twice cheering bits. Thank you very much. Looking forward to the rest of the week. I'm sorry, I will stop crying at some point. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, please join Rev and I for a listen through of episode 12 of The Crit Show. We're going to be listening to one of my favorite early episodes, The Trial of the Unworthy. A lot of fun stuff happens in that episode. So if you want to listen to Jake fight a Hydra amongst a myriad other things, come hang out with us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, where we'll be talking about the episode and answering your questions. Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm not available for Mystery Detectives, so Megan is flying solo. And what are you doing, Megan?
I'm going to be playing a little game that I came across called Donut County.
Okay. Joe is very excited about this.
I have not played it before, but I've played similar like mobile games that kind of have the same concept, where it's like you control a hole in the ground that can just basically swallow up things that fit into it. And then when you do it,
Donkey Kong Country?
No.
It gets a little bigger, but this seems to have some sort of like actual puzzle story element to it. It doesn't seem to be a very long game, so we'll see how quick I blaze through it. If I get done a little early and people are still wanting to hang out, I might throw in some Lego games that I have.
Nice.
I've got a couple of the Jurassic Park ones. I've got the Hobbit and the Lord of the Ring ones, and I think maybe a Harry Potter or two. I don't know. We'll see.
So
we'll see what people want to do, but that's what I'm going to be doing.
is the theme? Is it gonna be donut themed?
Donuts. There's a raccoon on the cover if you want to do raccoon. I don't know anything about this game. It could also just be void themed.
Void themed. Dress as the
Void.
void.
Voids or donuts. I feel like those kind of go hand in hand, obviously. So
Rev's face when I said donut theme.
yeah.
Put your donuts into my void.
Yeah, please come hang out with me and join me for that on Thursday night.
Nice. Thomas is very excited about the void theme. Thomas live from the void. And then next Monday, we do not. Omniverse Chronicles is taking a break while we set up our next game, Afterlife Wandering Souls. But we're still going to be here on Monday. Myself, Rev, and Tass are going to be playing some Dead by Daylight. So
we're gonna get
please,
murdered so many
please
times.
come hang
So
out with
many
us and
times.
watch us get murdered. Yeah. Are there any other announcements?
I believe the day after we'll be doing the.
Oh
AMA?
yeah, it's not on the schedule because I only program this thing a week out. But next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern is going to be our monthly AMA. So yeah, come hang out with us. I just saw a requesting chat about a Q&A. So I guess if you have questions for us, you can do it at the AMA. You can also ask them in the Omniverse Chronicles channel. We've got a channel, and we can hang out there and answer some questions.
And if you don't have access to the Discord in that channel, why aren't you on the Patreon? It's the
God.
happiest place in the whole.
Get in
That's
there.
right. Get in there. Links in chat. Discord access starts at just $1, and $5 a month gets you access to a whole bunch of bonus audio content, including Hero Salad, which is a superhero game, Perilous Tides, which is a pirate game, and I like Perilous Tides a lot, not just because I'm in it, but also because I'm in it. And Investigate the History, Tales from the Omniverse, all sorts of good stuff, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of
I was
of
thinking
bonus
about.
content.
It's been a long time since I've checked it. It's got to be like 200 plus hours.
It's a lot.
Wild.
It's a
You
lot.
get to
It's
see
a lot of
Jake
stuff.
dressed as a doll.
Yeah. Oh
come
yeah.
on.
Oh boy,
Such
you
good,
do.
such good stuff. And that all starts at just $1 or $5 on our Patreon. I think that's it. Thank you so
you don't
much.
know how to Discord? We can teach you.
You don't know how to. You don't know how to Discord?
I didn't either.
We got
but
you.
They taught me, and it's wonderful. It's so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously, join at $1, and I'm sure people would be happy to walk you through Discord.
Yeah. All you gotta do is check your junk mail, because sometimes the email from Patreon will go to your spam, and you just click on that link and it will drop you into the Discord.
And if you missed any episodes of the Omniverse Chronicles, if you tuned in for the last episode and have no idea what's going on, we got you. You can head on over to our YouTube channel, where we have all of the previous episodes from all now 3 games of the Omniverse Chronicles, as well as the listen throughs that Rev and I have been doing, as well as some video games that we've played, a whole bunch of stuff on our YouTube channel. And this episode will be uploaded there on Thursday. I believe that's it.
I think so.
Thank
Is that
you.
all?
I think so. Thank you so much, Joe, for GMing this, for being our guest, and for telling such a cool, very special, very emotional, I'm still crying story.
And can we take a moment to appreciate the fact that right below Joe, you'll see the apocalypse tracker, and we ended this game in redemption.
We did it. We did it.
You did
The
it.
real redemption
Thank
was the
you.
friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
It's true.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity, finally, for the first time, to get to be a mermaid. It's been a lifelong dream, and it was very fun. I know when we went into this game, before I had even picked a playbook or anything, I'd said to Kim, like, I think this time I'm going to go light on the costume and the makeup, just so I don't have, to set aside time to do a big thing like I did with the last game. Just take it a little easier on myself. And then I out that I had the option to be a mermaid, and I was like, well, never mind.
Yeah, this game has been so fun. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And thanks all of you for joining us for the Omniverse Chronicles. Hopefully we will see you in September for our brand new chapter in the Omniverse Chronicles, which will be Afterlife Wandering Souls. More details about that in the next few days.
Oh yeah. You know what? If you join us tomorrow, here's my guarantee. Join us tomorrow for the listen through. I guarantee you at the end of that stream, because I have the ability, I'll probably give you some insider information.
It's true.
I can't stop myself.
He can't. We have some very exciting guests that we're very excited about joining us for that game. But more details about that tomorrow if you catch the stream, or in the coming days if you follow us on social media. I hope that all of you have a wonderful night. Thank you once again, Joe, and thank you all of you for watching. We'll see you later on another chapter of the Omniverse Chronicles. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.